We recording?
We sure are.
All right, let's do the thing.
Got it. Hey there, folks. Welcome back to The Art of Losing Your Butt and Finding Your Why. I'm Doug.
And I'm Christy.
And this week we're talking about the dangers and be wary of who you follow and the perils of social media in today's society.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to body image, liking yourself, and also being properly educated on the things that you may hear from someone that you may or may not look up to.
Yeah.
We were just discussing about certain fitness influencers and people that we follow and some of the misleading tactics that are happening out there. And just wanted to just give you guys a heads up to, don't always take everyone's word for things,
Yeah. First of all, for those of you that are out there that are, my age, like his mom's age, follow people that are similar age. Because the problem I'm finding with clients is the fact that they look at me, they love me as a trainer,
right,
because they can relate to me.
Yeah, relatability.
Having kids, going through divorces, having a real life and what that trauma and drama does to you.
Right.
Eating disorders, all of that stuff.
Gotcha.
And still losing weight, but still having a passion for food.
Right.
Okay. So one of the things is people follow these young people, and Instagram's really bad for this. But they follow these young people and they see they're fit and they're healthy and they start following their advice. Well, first of all, training somebody in their 20s is different than training somebody in their 50s and 60s.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
When I train people my age, I know that we have issues. We've had injuries. We've had surgeries. We have bad knees, no cartilage, things like, and I know how to train around that and help that.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Young people are training for aesthetic 9 times out of 10.
Right.
And then you feel bad when you can't match them. And you got to remember, these people haven't had kids. They don't have a life,
Right. Right.
They're living the Instagram life.
Yes.
And then you also have, you have to remember that on social media, everybody plays their A role, not their B role.
Oh, of course.
There's very few of us. And, I find myself guilty of that too, because I put the highlight reel out there.
Right.
There are times that I'm brutally honest with you guys and say, hey, you know what, today was a day.
Yeah.
And I broke down and I ate this, or, because I'm trying to be real.
Right. You're giving a little bit of everything.
Right.
You're not just showing the best parts of your day, so everyone thinks that. See, I'm a little funny about social media in general, and I feel like as much as it benefits us, as much as it can behoove you to have access to all these unimaginable resources in front of you,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a lot of room there for people, snake oil salesmen,
Mm-hmm.
people that are going to mislead you, people that are going to try to deceive you. And a lot of times it sets you up, especially someone that is listening to this podcast. You're trying to probably improve your life. You may not have an issue with body image, your own body image, and loving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say to be wary about social media in general, because a lot of times what you'll find is that you scroll Facebook and you see that every picture is perfect, it's photoshopped, it's people that are posting the best moments of their lives and how great everything's going for them.
And then you have the people in the comments. Don't ever read the comments, because then you have the people in the comments. Somebody posts this great bit about their life, the A reel, and then in the comments you have everybody breaking them down.
Oh yeah, people. Yes, that'll happen too. That'll happen too.
And there's a couple local pages on Facebook I won't even go on to in the morning.
Oh, I get that.
Because the one I'm talking about too.
I understand.
Because people are so catty and so miserable and so entitled.
Oh yeah.
That it can set my mood off on the wrong thing.
See,
so now I have a rule. I pick up my phone to make sure that kids didn't reach out or something like that.
Right.
Make sure there's no emergency. As soon as I know that there's no messages from mom, or employer, whatever, then I set it aside. And then I've started a new routine where I get up and I actually read a little bit in the morning.
Yes.
I
That
read
makes sense.
some,
Yeah.
something that's good for my soul.
Definitely.
Instead of and that sets me apart mindset wise so much differently in the morning.
Oh yeah.
I don't go into work grumpy.
Yeah.
I walk in with a smile on my face.
Yes.
And I can combat the negativity at work
Right.
a little bit better because I'm not putting myself in that negative headspace.
Yeah, it definitely, you got to be careful with that. I mean, some people don't have an issue with it at all. And some people just get caught up in this, everybody else is so perfect, what's wrong with me type of thing. And it can be a slippery slope. And you can find yourself going down it with even being of sound mind and body. And you start looking at all this stuff, people are, it's just, you're always seeing the best of the best and photoshopped pictures, where things are very easily faked, and you don't realize the backstory behind those pictures. You may look at the comments of a beautiful family picture and then someone say, how's everyone doing? And they say, well, we just got divorced and my wife took the kids. In the comments, you might not, that might be the backstory that you don't know. And what I'm saying is what is presented to you is not always factual. It is not always the truth. And just be very careful of that, because it makes everything seem so glittery and glamorous in everyone else's lives, and it can leave you feeling lesser than.
Yeah.
And that's what I always warn people about, is if you find yourself getting in a funk while scrolling and feeling some type of way about yourself, just get off. Just cut bait and get out. Because it's just not worth it. But it has some awesome, there's amazing benefits to social media as far as being able to reach out and connect with family, friends, coworkers, people across the planet. There's some great opportunities there, whether it be for job searching, education, all kinds of things. But again, I say to be careful, because you don't know what people's intentions are. Like we were talking about fitness influencers, just for example, fitness influencers. You see these people that are like, they start off in the gym posting their workouts, they become popular, they get a following, and then suddenly they're telling you things and promoting products that may or may not be in your best interest at all. They may or may not even be healthy. That's why I always tell people, never trust one person's word. Always get a second opinion. Like I follow a couple like actual doctorate people that are, in sports and fitness categories, people that have doctorate degrees, and those people I can trust. But you got to vet these people out and make sure that you're trusting who you're.
Says the people that have Red Bull as a sponsor.
Right.
Or not Red Bull. Redcon. Oh my God.
Redcon.
Yeah, it's been a long day, guys. But
there's a difference between like believing in a product that you're promoting.
We use the product.
Like something that we actually use and has benefited us greatly.
And we don't use all the products. We use the products that are right for us.
Right. Versus something that somebody's just pushing off, whether it be, some shady medicine or some shady doctor or practice. You don't know. That's why I always tell people, just be careful, because
GNC has a new one out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, GNC has a new one out. It's lose weight like the celebrities pill form.
Okay.
Basically, it's
fad diet something.
Well, it's berberine.
Oh, berberine.
Berberine and turmeric.
Okay. Apple cider vinegar.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That kind of crap. Just regular old burners and stuff, but that included. And which, when I was doing my cut last year, and I'm going to start using it again, the berberine does work, especially if you're insulin insensitive.
Yes. Right.
Okay. So my body makes enough insulin. It just doesn't use it properly.
If you become insulin resistant,
right,
you take berberine. It'll lower your sensitivity, or you'll start to resensitize your system.
So that works really good for women with PCOS.
Okay, gotcha.
So what I learned was, I thought I was all excited, several months ago, thinking, okay, I'd gone a whole year without a period. In menopause, yay, finally.
Right.
No, what I did was I messed up my system and brought the PCOS back in full force.
Gotcha.
With the dieting,
Dieted yourself into
I'm
a
dieted
state.
myself into a PCOS flare up.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I'm back on PCOS protocol, and that's one of the things.
Gotcha.
Is they prefer to use the berberine instead of metformin.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
natural. It works just as well.
It works. It does. It
Yeah.
does. It works wonders. It really does. But that's why I just tell people, you know, fitness influencers out there, there's all kinds of people that are telling you all kinds of different things.
Mhm.
And for instance, the fitness category, you can scroll through 20 different people, watch them do the same exercise, and they'll each tell you something different.
Mhm.
You know, and I always tell people, you know, you can listen to these people for entertainment,
Yeah.
but if it comes to education, you go to an educator, like someone with a degree that, you know, in sports science that can tell you what science says is, just for instance, the most effective range of reps for muscular hypertrophy, just for instance. You know, to build the most muscle, sets of 6 to 12 in something like 75 to 85% of your 1 rep max. You know, that's scientifically based.
Right.
There's data behind it in a study that can be shown, that can be cited if needed.
Right.
But you will listen to people that will tell you 100 different things.
Well, it's hard
You
to
know.
be. I know you're going through school
Right.
to be a trainer, and I've already done that. But it's hard because when you're a real trainer, and like I'm certified in nutrition.
Yeah.
So when you're certified in nutrition and you know the science behind things,
Right.
and especially in nutrition, you've got people out there all over the place on nutrition.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but what it really comes down to is eating everything in its most natural state.
Right. Right.
And forget the processed foods.
The cleanest eating possible.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, but
Right.
then I can't say that on social media and have people follow me because nobody wants to hear that crap.
Right. That's the thing, is that what becomes popular on social media and hyped is something fad.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, calories don't matter. Fill out this body assessment quiz to find out what kind of, whether you're a endothermic, you know, whatever it may
Yeah.
be. They got
Endomorph, ectomorph.
right?
Yeah.
And which one you are, and what's going to work best for
And
you.
the only thing that works for is for endomorphs like myself. Most endomorphs have some type of insulin resistance, metabolic issue.
Gotcha.
Okay, it's just proven fact.
Gotcha.
But the problem is, like, when I can remember back when Instagram was great when I started my journey 5 years ago.
Yes.
Because you put in weight loss and you found people like Fat Girl Fed Up. Okay, Lexi, she was a big girl and she showed everything. You know, working on down, her working her ass off, and she was very, very inspiring. And she got her, the skin removed and everything. And she was getting ready to go to school to become a trainer and all this kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
And then she fell ill.
Right.
Got calcified. I can't even say it now. Anyway, she got a rare disease, and it made her bloat up. She gained weight because, of course, what do we do when we're scared? We go back to our emotional eating.
Oh yeah, you go back to your old habits.
Well, once she was cleared and cured from that, she's got scars all over her body now from the wounds that she got.
Oh wow.
But she's showing those too, and she's raw. She's telling you, exactly what's going on.
Right.
And, it's really cool.
Yeah. I like this. See, that's
that's the kind of stuff.
It's real. You know what I mean? She's saying,
God.
This is what worked for me. This may not work for you, but this is exactly what I did. This is exactly what I'm going through. This is the good days, and here are the bad days. And here's the days that almost cost me my life.
Right.
And here's pictures of videos of everything to show you the whole
and that takes a lot.
progress. You know, I mean, that's not easy to do.
It's not.
Right.
I mean,
and in general, when it comes to social media and these type of platforms, you posting the bad days generally doesn't get you as much reach, as many views as somebody posting the super hype, I just won this competition,
right.
Picture of you with a trophy or something like that. That generally garners more interest from people than you saying, I'm having a really bad day, I'm fighting this rare illness. Look at these scars that
Yeah.
I just want to show you guys what I'm
Well,
going
and it's
through.
funny though,
You
because
know, everyone's different.
her fans, she kept a pretty good fan base
But if you get a
because
following, if you get a following,
they were concerned because she dropped out of view for a while.
right.
And we're all like, what's going? And then I thought, to me, I'll be honest with you, it was, oh great, here we go, another one just cashed in and is split, you
Right.
know. And then she finally came out and said, you know, look, this is what's going
Here's
on.
what I'm going through.
And she was in the hospital for a long time and that kind of stuff. So I props out to her.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Because there's been a bunch of people that have disappeared. There's many people that have stuck around. There's 20 as many that have gone through weight loss, progress pictures, showing the whole procedures.
And for pure entertainment, Shaun of Steel, he's only on YouTube. Okay. He does, because he was over 600 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So he does a lot of the 600-pound life reviews.
Okay.
And he compares it to what it was like, because he'll call people on their, stuff. They're like, oh, girlfriend, you could get up and go do that,
Right. I was 600 pounds.
Right.
I could even have done more than that.
And so it's just funny because, and that's surely, but he shares all of his trials and, tribulations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why he's going through this. And he's just funny too.
Absolutely.
But it does make you feel a little bit better, if you're having a bad day.
Going through it.
Right. He's very encouraging.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
But there are ones out there, I'm finding, some of them my age that are out there. Yeah. And we're starting to, I don't know, Gen X is starting to come out with a roar. They're like, no, if you're this age, you need to be following us.
Right.
We're seeing more and more like that.
You got to find what works for you is what I would say. A lot of things, just like listening to these things about diets and this diet's, whether it be low carb, whether it be low fat, some ketogenic stuff or certain restrictive diets, whether it's fasting, intermittent fasting, people do. It's one of those things that you just have to listen to what the person has to say and then research it some more and decide if you think it's for you and try it if you really want to. But don't just go on the whim of some 21-year-old who's telling you to do this because it's the greatest thing ever. Yeah. And by the way, this is sponsored by the people that sell you the steaks for this low carb diet.
Get my training program or whatever. And that's the other thing too, is a lot of these training programs that people are selling are white label training programs that are made up by some corporate entity.
Oh yeah.
So you're not even getting genuine stuff.
Right.
And that's one of the things when I coach face to face. So every time I'm training someone, I have a general idea of what we're doing that day, but depending on how they're feeling, what their body's doing, we may change things up.
Right.
We may do an exercise differently.
Yeah.
And that's what I teach people is you got to go with the flow.
Right.
Sometimes this gym is way too packed.
You change, if you
and somebody won't get off a machine.
Right. You got to be able to change on the fly.
So it's like, okay, we're not going to get ugly. We're not going to be those people. I'm going to show you how to do it a different way.
Yeah.
But the other thing though too is if you're following social media at all for health, wellness, fitness, there's just so much bad nutrition information floating around. And I'll be honest, I went down a rabbit hole.
That's the stuff that scares me.
I went down a rabbit hole, and because of my husband loves watching documentaries on Colts.
Okay.
Oh,
I know what you're talking about.
First of all, Colts use food to control people. And the way they do that is they feed them wheat, they feed them carbs, plant-based carbs, and sugar. The medicine goes down with a spoonful of sugar.
High fat, high sugar.
And not high fat.
Oh, not high fat?
Nope.
Just high sugar.
High carb, high sugar. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the reason for that is because having a diet full of carbs and sugar makes it so you can't think clearly.
Right, 'cause the roller coaster ride.
Correct.
And
So
the sugar.
without enough fat in your diet, your brain can't process.
Gotcha.
You need fat in your diet for your brain to process.
Gotcha. Which means you're more malleable and easier to control.
Easier controlled.
To
And then with no
convince.
protein in your diet, you start losing muscle
Right.
volume.
Be strong enough to get away.
And now you're not strong enough to fight them either.
Gotcha.
So now they've broken your, psyche, they've broken your body, and now they're breaking your will.
Right.
Now, be armed with that information, and then you go into our grocery stores.
Oh yeah.
Okay? If you go anywhere in the center aisles, you can't find anything that is not carb based.
Yeah. No. I mean, you got to go out of your way.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole aisle that's dedicated to snack cakes now.
Which, did I tell you?
That's what we were talking about. That's what I thought you were about to bring up was the Little Debbie thing.
I'm so mad.
With the whole.
I'm so mad. Little Debbie's have no chocolate in them, folks. Okay? I've been lied to my entire life. Little Debbie's, they're made out of carob, so just proof that just because it's carob doesn't mean it's healthier, because Mama gained a lot of weight on those.
Right.
Because remember, one of the previous episodes, I don't know if I posted that. I didn't post that one yet. I'll have to post that one. We actually figured out the amount of calories I was eating on a daily basis in Little Debbie's. Because that was my go-to.
It adds up fast.
Yeah, I think it was like 26,000 calories a day.
Something crazy. It was thousands.
Yeah.
The number was in the thousands of a snack cake.
Just in snack cakes.
It adds up so fast. They're such calorie dense foods. It's like I'm trying to do the exact opposite. I'm trying to eat the least calorie dense foods I can get. Rice cakes, imitation crab meat, you know what I mean? Like puffed rice, that kind of stuff, popcorn, the stuff that can fill you up with the least amount of calories. And like Little Debbie snack cakes, exact opposite. That's if you want to have a whole day's worth of food in a pouch this big. Like MREs that the Army has, where it's one pouch but it's 3,000 calories.
Yeah, but at least they had real chocolate in them.
It's got real food.
If you count Hershey's, it's real chocolate. But it's
bad if you find a thing of like snack cakes, like something fell in the cabinet and it's been there for 5 years, and you look at it and you're like, it looks the same.
And I wish I had saved.
It's the same thing. It's still fine.
Thanksgiving, my mom had found a box of stuff that was mine, and I was going through it, and I guess I had hidden some Little Debbie's in this little treasure box.
Stashed them in a treasure box.
I know it had to have been 15 years ago, because I haven't seen this stuff since before I got divorced.
That's great.
And I'm like, man, you have no idea. I took a look at them, and my son's like, how old are those? I'm like, old enough to go in the trash. You didn't see these, right? Because I was embarrassed.
Yeah, I get it.
So I threw them out right away. And then I told my husband later, and he's like, why didn't you save them?
Right.
He's like, do you know that would have been such a cool display when you guys have events and stuff? So now I'm tempted to steal one from him. Because, he gets them for the meetings and stuff, and
oh, gosh, yeah.
Steal a couple here and there and put dates on them and just set them somewhere and let them.
Yeah, it'd be a good experiment. Like, we had a high school teacher that had a cheeseburger from McDonald's that they bought and put inside of a glass dome and kept it in their room. And they had it for something like 20 years. And it still looked the same. The mold never grew on it.
It's bad when mold.
It's so processed that not only does it not expire, nothing eats it. The mold won't grow on it because it's so riddled with preservatives.
That's so bad.
And it just blew my mind. And she had a date on the top that I bought this burger on whatever, June 1st of 1991 or 1985. And I put it in this dome to see what happens because everyone said how many preservatives were in the food.
And that was back then.
Right.
Can you imagine what it's like now?
Right. Yeah. And that's why I say to people, it's like, if you really want to just make the simplest change, just eat stuff just start by eating stuff that's all natural.
Yeah.
Just go to, brown rice, chicken breast, vegetables, ground beef, extra lean ground beef, steak, pork roast, veggies, things that that don't last 2 to 7 years on a shelf. Ideally, get fresh corn instead of canned corn. You'd be surprised some of that stuff. It's like I would much rather you cook off some white rice or brown rice in boiling water and let it simmer for a little while than buy the pouch of
Yeah.
pre-seasoned
Oh,
microwavable
because it's
rice
so full
that's
of
got so much
yeah
stuff in it. I'm going to say stuff
M-
instead of the S word.
MSG and
But between the salt, the flavor additives, the MSG, the
mhm,
preservatives, it's like if that rice can last on the shelf for 2 years
mhm.
and it's all got all that butter and garlic and stuff in there, then there's got to be something in there
Yeah.
that I'm sure shouldn't be in your body. I'm certain of it.
Yeah. So and I mean, and that's one of the things. I mean, that is a big, wide, diverse subject that gets thrown all over the social media.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
one person will pop up and say, "Go keto." The next one, you know, how to lose weight and still have a sweet tooth. You know,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely. I've tried them.
yeah,
I've tried all of them.
hmm
Most of them, if not, between whether it be carnivore, ketogenic, uh, Atkins, you name it. I gave it a run at some point in time. I'm certain, just because I heard some person on TV, on the internet, talking about how it made them lose 55 pounds in 3 months.
yes. But did you ever do the
And,
Hollywood fast diet, the juice?
The juice one?
Yeah.
I had the one with the juice that you took a sip of it and you added water
Uh huh.
and you kept drinking, you added more water.
Yeah, for like 3 days or whatever.
72 hours. 72 hours later, all you've had to eat was this thing of pineapple juice with it. You added water to. And yes, you lost weight. You sure did, because you didn't eat anything for 3 days except some sugar water with extra water.
Mm-hmm.
It's a water fast. I mean,
yeah,
everyone's got that. Look, the secret is nothing that works that fast is sustainable.
Correct.
Anyone can lose a whole bunch of weight really fast by making drastic changes and putting themselves through hell. But
Yep.
it just doesn't last. You know, you can lose like just for instance, wrestlers and boxers, they cut weight for fights. And like my nephews have cut 10 and 12 pounds in a week. Is that healthy? No, no, it's not. But did they make it happen? They did.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you just can't keep losing weight like that. You know, anybody that's promising you some crazy magical thing, it's either it's not sustainable or it's also not very healthy. The faster you lose it, probably the least healthy it is, the less healthy it's going to be for you, because you can only do so much, is what I mean to say. In the end, calories in, calories out matters.
And movement.
You know, and
you can't just cut your calories and not move.
Right.
Exercise is so freaking important.
Right. You can increase your cardio so much, and you can decrease your calories so much, and eventually you just can't do any more.
Right.
You know, you're going to max out at some point in time, which is when people turn to some fad diet or a drug or a pill their friend gave them, you know, or something they bought at the gas station behind the counter that was, you know, shaped like a bee and was guaranteed to make you lose weight fast.
This sounds like personal experience there,
absolutely.
Doug.
Absolutely. We've tried it all. I'm telling you, if you guys ever have any questions about any diet, any supplement, any drug, whether that be legal or illegal, I can probably tell you that I have tried it at some point in time. I'm just being honest. I'm being real with you guys. I mean it. I got so desperate to the point where I tried things that I shouldn't have tried. You know what I mean? I mean, really shouldn't have tried. I mean, really, really shouldn't have tried or considered, for that matter.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you know, I've had a weight issue since I was 10.
Right.
And my mother got me these things back in the 80s. They were little fudge bites.
Okay.
And they were supposed to be an appetite suppressant.
Uh-huh.
But they were really good, so I ate the entire box at one sitting. Okay. My mom was like, "What did you do?" I said, "They were really good, because you were only supposed to have one a day." And I'm like, "Oh, well, they tasted like candy, so I ate them all."
I understand.
Yeah.
I've been there.
I was like 12. I mean.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's a mess. It really is.
It just tells you that my eating disorder started early in life.
But it just shows you that you can't always listen or try. I don't want to say listen, because you can listen to anybody, but don't just put all your faith and trust into what you hear or see, whether that be on TV or on the computer or your phone, it's coming from someone you
Mhm.
know, even, I would still say just look it up and just maybe do some research before you put it in your body, please.
Yeah.
Or follow that suggestion. Just do some research on it. See what a doctor has to say about it. Run it by your doctor if you're unsure and you don't have anyone else to turn to. It never hurts because Lord knows all these fad diets were recommended to me by somebody either on the TV, on the computer, or by a friend or family member who swore by it. Same with most of these medicines I've tried, or something bought at GNC, or some kind of a pill, or some new crazy revolutionary way of losing weight. Were all recommended by somebody. I didn't come up with these on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So that just goes to show you that people that are desperate, who really want to lose the weight, but just don't know how,
So, and that's when you
are
go
open to suggestion.
right.
Very, very
Right.
open to suggestion.
So that's why instead of wasting your money on all these things and magic solutions, invest in a good coach.
Right. Get a trainer. Yeah,
Yeah,
coach.
get
Absolutely.
get a trainer.
Yeah.
And like I said, shop around. Don't take the first one, because I'll be honest with you. When I started, I walked into the gym and the trainers were this big. They were
Right.
young, and
Right.
there's no way I would have used them as a trainer.
Gotcha.
So I did the only thing I knew to do. I took class for myself,
Mhm.
so I could train myself.
Right.
And then now, I have my niche because I'm midlife and beyond.
Right.
And you people look at me and go, "Okay, you're not perfect." No, I'm not.
Right.
I'm
But
far
nobody
from.
is.
No.
I'm just willing to admit to it
Mm-hmm.
and tell you what I know that works.
Yeah. So in fluffy season, like this is right now, fluffy season,
Right.
I'm still size 14.
Right.
Okay. That was my thing. That was my goal when I was at size 28, getting ready to go into 30 something.
Right.
Was if I could just be a size 14, I would be happy.
Okay.
Because even in high school, I was an 18 to 20.
Yeah, you had a goal in mind.
So when I hit the 14 and I still wasn't happy, and I went all the way down to a 10, and I looked like I was dying.
Okay.
And because I had no muscle.
Right.
So I lost everything, and literally I looked like a walking skeleton, and everybody thought I was dying and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, but I'm still not happy. Why am I not happy? You said you'd be happy at 14.
Yeah.
Okay, so fluffy season, I'm okay at a 14. But this is when I'm trying to build muscle.
Okay. Right.
So I'm getting ready to go on a cut now before we go to the Olympia.
Gotcha.
And because when I'm trying to get some interviews for you guys at the Olympia, and the reason for that is because I want to look good, but I also want to find out exactly how much muscle I've put on. And to be honest with you, I can see it on the scan, but to actually see it on the body is different.
Absolutely.
So
that is true.
but I'm going about it not as severe of a cut as I did before.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So we're just going back into, a regular weight loss kind of thing.
Right. It seems to work best for people that the winter time is their bulking season.
Yeah.
Because that's when the holidays come. That's when you can be a little bit more loose with your diet habits. When people are more likely to bring in brownies or cookies or something like that, where you're willing to splurge a little bit here, a little bit there, because you're working out very heavily and you're able to put muscle on at the same time. So you need the calories to build the muscle. And then it turns into right about this time of year, March, right around there, is when people start to turn it around and say, you know what, I've put on
Summer's coming.
I've put on 15, 20 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I feel like probably a couple pounds of that is muscle. Let's see what happens. I need to cut back down. And then they start on the cut, getting ready for summer. And then summer comes along, and we've got March now, so we got all of March, April, May. So you got a good 3 to 4 months before the summer's really in full blast. So.
And you can do a lot in 3 months.
You know what I mean? You lose a max of 2 pounds a week, 8 pounds a month. 3 months, you got 24 pounds. 4 months, you got 32 pounds at max. I mean, that's if you're going pretty hard.
Yeah.
But a pound a week is certainly not out of the. That is very, very simple, truly. So you're talking about 15 pounds by summer if you start now. Pretty easily actually. So. You know, you lose 15, you put on 4 or 5 pounds of muscle, and all of a sudden you start seeing it.
Right.
And then the summertime comes, you feel great. You're, you know, back down a size or two.
But yeah, after, I mean, I was on a strict cut for almost 2 years.
Right.
You know, so I messed up my metabolism really bad.
So did I. I was trying to get mine back in.
And that's
this diet here.
That's why, you know, I was like, okay, when we come back from the competition, it was like I was ready to get right back into it. And talking it through with my husband and my kids, it's like, well, you're not competing next year, right? No. Okay, then you need to build muscle, right? I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do.
Right.
So we decided it was probably the best bet for me just to cease the diet for a little while.
Yeah.
And let my body come back to normal.
Absolutely. And that's called, in case anyone's wondering, that's called a diet break.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very important that you take those generally between every 12 to 16 weeks at most, because your body will adapt to the changes you have made. So if you increase you start to decrease your calories, so you start to have a little bit of a deficit, start losing a little weight, then your body eventually slows down your metabolic activity to match those calories. So suddenly you don't shake your leg as much, or you don't twitch as much, or you don't pace as much when you're on the phone, you know, walking around the room. Your body will slow you down, whether you know it or not,
right,
to match your calorie intake. So you up your cardio a little bit. That's fine too. But then eventually your body does the same thing. And eventually it does adapt, which is why the farther along you get in the diet, the harder it gets.
Right.
You know, if you're very heavy and you have a lot to lose, you generally don't have a problem, because the small changes can last a lot longer in a person like that. You know, if you have 150 pounds to lose, you can certainly push it out a little longer, but it still doesn't hurt because of your metabolism, because of, you know, your endocrine system and your hormones. It doesn't. The best thing you can do is every 12 weeks you take about a week or two. You eat at maintenance, right where you're supposed to be to maintain your weight, and you let your body just kind of readapt. Your metabolism kind of resets back to baseline, and you resensitize yourself for the deficit.
Right.
So when you go back into it, suddenly your body goes, okay, it's time to lose weight again. And you go right back into diving down and losing a pound a week or whatever your goal is. Because you'll know once you've been dieting for too long, it'll start to stale out on you, and you'll have to be pushing harder and deeper into a deficit to get the same results. Again, when you're really heavy and you're losing a lot of weight, it's fine. It happened for me personally. Went from 430 pounds and I got down to 250, just broke into 249, and couldn't push any lower without some extremes. But also it was because the fall was coming on, and you know, coming into Christmas season, Thanksgiving, big meals, a lot more inside. The weather's cold, so you're not outside walking and biking as much. So my cardio went down a little bit, and I couldn't push any lower. I said, you know what? I feel like to push any harder and keep going would be bad. So I'm gonna take a break. I'm happy with this weight. Let's try to maintain for a little while. So I maintained for a little while through Christmas season, so right around Christmas, and then I said, you know what? I'm gonna try to put on a little muscle, and I ate a little bit over, put on a little bit of weight, and put on some muscle too. Definitely, strength is definitely going up, and now we're back to leveling off again, and now about to go back into the dive and start cutting again. But it's one of those things that you just kind of, you know, the break does not hurt. It does not hurt at all.
It can hurt your psyche a little bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because, you know,
you're used to that number going down.
I you know, I'm like, I'm not happy with the fluffy season right now, but I know I needed it.
Right.
And because my weight always goes right here, just right to the belly.
Ends up in the belly.
And my legs are really lean, you know, but it's cool because like you can see the muscle on my legs now, and you know, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to see the muscle in my arms pop. I'm like, okay, cool. Yep. But yeah, it's just it does mess with the head. But I fought through it this year with your help, and you know, with support of my family and everything. And now it's time to start. And so I was all gung ho to start, right? And then I found out that the girl at work was going to quit. So what happens? I have to cover her. So now I'm working every morning. I'm like, damn it.
Right. I understand.
It's like, okay. So, you know, when you're trying to, because I like doing carb cycling because it keeps my metabolism guessing.
Right. You got high carb days, low carb days, medium carb days.
So when you it just keeps it going,
Right.
you know. And so normally I do a 2 low, 1 high, 2 low, 1 high,
Okay.
and then we do the reward day. So you eat healthy, and you know, you can splurge on a dessert or something. But that keeps you, you know, losing weight
Right.
because
Keep
it keeps
progressing.
your when you have PCOS and you have any of the metabolism issues, it helps keep the metabolism going. Oh wait, no, I can't save. No, 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 I want to. No, no, I'm okay. No, I need to, before it kicks into that save mode.
Right.
You're feeding it again. It's like, oh no, I'm good. You
Yeah.
know. So
That's
yeah,
why a lot of people believe in cheat days.
yeah.
For me, myself, that's what that was what worked for me. You
Hmm.
know, carb cycling definitely works for people too. A lot of bodybuilders use that. Have high carb days, just kind of trick their body
And
into
you try to make sure that's
keep
on
going.
a day that you're going to work out heavy.
Yes, right.
You
Leg
know.
day, high carb day. You're gonna burn it off. It's all gonna go to your muscles. Everything's great. But for me, I always had a cheat day. I would work all throughout the week, usually Tuesday through Saturday, or Monday through Saturday, 1 or 2 days off. And then Sunday was always my cheat day, where like we always had breakfast with the family on Sunday mornings. So I'd have, French toast, sausage, and some scrambled eggs. On a regular day, I just have oatmeal. You know what I mean? But on that day, you have a nice breakfast. Or for dinner, you had a steak and baked potato, something nice that kind of pushed your calories back up
Hmm.
for that day, just to have you back to where your body was thinking, oh, we're not dieting right now.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. And then you dive back in, a day or two later, and all of a sudden you're back to burning calories. And that seemed to work the best for me. But the
Yeah.
carb stuff also works very well with people going up and down. You got to track your
Well,
stuff though. You got to
yeah.
keep your eye on
The
stuff.
one, kind of cheat day is what I used to do.
Uh,
And then when um, I was getting ready for the first competition,
Mhm.
like it just suddenly stopped working.
right.
So
Right.
we started doing the carb cycling, and it worked phenomenally.
Gotcha.
And then that's kind of what I did, for the
From
first
then on.
competition. And then with the work schedule I had, I tried to do it
Uh,
for the second competition, and it failed. So I have to really get my I just have to be really firm
I understand.
on, this is I have to eat something now.
I get that.
You know,
Yeah.
it's nothing for people to be eating while they're treating a patient, to be honest with you, because when you get a half an hour and you have to make a personal phone call at lunchtime, you don't get to eat your lunch
I understand.
because you only get a half an hour.
Oh, I get it. I work in a
And
kitchen.
yeah, so it's like
You're
you
lucky if
kind of
you
have
get a
to,
lunch.
yeah, yeah. So, well, and that's the thing too. I
What's
mean,
that? You want to sit down for a half an hour? What do you mean you got an hour break at your other job? No, 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 no. That doesn't work here. There's no sitting down.
yeah, and see, in our situation, if each therapist takes lunch at a different time,
Right.
yeah, we don't get a lunch.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, so I just have to get better at saying no. I have to eat this now.
Eat something. Right.
Yeah. So we'll figure it out. I know we'll
That's
figure it
it.
out.
That's it. For me, it was I had to, for myself personally here lately, I had to make sure I was getting the protein in that I needed. I figured I'm at the calories that I need, but I wasn't putting on a whole lot of muscle
Hmm.
at the end here. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna really track everything I'm eating and drinking just to be sure. And I was coming up short on protein every
Hmm.
day. That's why I always tell people, like, that's the biggest thing is if you start off your calories for the day with protein, make sure you're getting 1 gram per pound of
Hmm.
body weight in protein every day. You're going to be fine. So for me at the time, that was 260 grams of protein.
Hmm.
And if you're trying to eat clean, 260 grams of protein of chicken is a lot.
Your jaw gets tired of chewing.
So, right. So I was trying to supplement with eggs in the morning, ground beef for lunch, grilled chicken for dinner. And then I realized I had to drink some protein shakes to make it work. And that works out just fine. And it's been, you know, it's been great ever since. But in the moment, I think to myself, if I had stuck with tracking like I did,
Yeah.
the good habits, the healthy habits that you should just stick with that we've talked about in previous episodes, things that, just track your stuff you eat throughout the day,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll know how many calories you're bringing in. And then you'll know that if you're not losing any weight, those calories are too high. You just reduce it by some, and you'll get to where you need to be.
Yep.
It takes a little trial and error, and it takes some practice. Like even that, I wrote in everything I drank and ate for months, and then just let it slide all of a sudden.
Mhm.
Because I got too busy with life.
Yep.
And that's one of those things that it's the biggest excuse you'll ever make.
Yeah, it is.
You fell off your diet because you got
We do
busy
it.
with life or family. You
Mhm.
can't make it to the gym because life is just too busy. Whatever it may be. I couldn't work out today. I couldn't take that walk today. And I'm a little more hard-headed than that, to where I get stubborn and I say, no, I'm going to do this no matter what
Mhm.
happens, no matter how busy my life is. I'm going to take a walk in the rain.
Well, you know what happens on
It
Sunday.
works.
You know what happens on Sunday?
What's Sunday?
Daylight savings time goes away.
Oh yeah, time goes forward.
So it'll be light later.
It'll be light later at night.
And I won't be tired at 5 o'clock because it's dark.
Yeah.
Because when it goes dark, my body says it's time for a night.
Yeah.
So I will have more hours in my day.
Definitely.
And I will feel more energized and get out of the depression. And then I'll be happy.
It does.
Yeah.
You'll find yourself doing more after work. You really
Mhm.
will. Most people just go home right now this time of year.
Well, even in the morning,
cold and the dark, people just go home. They don't stay outside at all or do
because
anything.
even in the morning,
Right.
when it's not daylight savings time, I can get up in the morning. It's light, and I can go for my meditation walk, which is over a mile.
Gotcha.
And that gets me started on a really good footing for the day.
Gotcha.
I feel like I'm ahead of things. I walk to work when it's nice, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, and then now I'm starting the aquasize classes in the morning.
That's awesome.
So I'll be getting in. I had my first one on Monday.
Yeah.
And I have one client, and she's actually my client from here.
Oh, okay.
She's like, I had to come. So it was just her and I, and we had a blast.
That's
But
cool.
I worked her. She goes, ooh, I felt that one.
That's cool.
But
somebody
yeah,
you can ease into it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I knew that, I did one email, found out, as per usual, most of our emails are that we have for patients are bad.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, all right. So, but I'm working the health and fitness expo on Saturday from 9 to 4.
Gotcha.
So I will be handing out my stuff there
and
seeing if we can't start getting them filled, in a couple weeks.
It never hurts to try. I always tell people,
Yep.
It can't hurt.
Nope.
It can't hurt to eat healthy. It can't hurt to try lifting weights.
Nope.
It can't hurt to go to the gym or get on the treadmill or just take a walk around the block.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching this right now, while you listen to this and watch this video, put a pair of earphones in and take a 20 or 30-minute walk while you're listening to us. And it'll be over before you know it.
Yeah.
And you'll have some important knowledge learned from us. You got a little exercise in, and your day's just going to go that much better.
See, that's my secret as a
it makes it so much easier.
As a trainer.
It does.
How do I get my people to? You notice what happened to my girl tonight?
Right.
He came over. He got here early, and he hops on the treadmill next to us, and we all get to talking. And she's like, "I'm only doing 15 minutes."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, on the treadmill." And she made it to 17, almost 18, and I did a half a mile on the treadmill.
Hey.
So Sunday I got her up to 5 miles on the bike.
Progress is progress.
Mm-hmm. And this is a woman with knee
Don't discount
injury.
yourself or don't put yourself down because you're not progressing fast enough. If you're progressing, you're in the right direction. Do not ever put yourself down because you're not getting as far ahead as you need to fast enough. You are still moving. That's all that matters. Keep moving in the right direction. Make the next right decision. It makes such a difference because I used to beat myself up terrible for that.
That's okay. Women are the worst at this. Well, of course, men tend to lose weight quicker anyway.
Right.
But women, they're like, I should be at this point. I'm disgusted with myself. I'm like, I look at them point blank. I said, did you get fat overnight?
Right.
No. You think you're going to get skinny overnight? No.
Doesn't work like that.
And man, the look of they get on their face, it's like, oh, you just said that? Yeah, I just said that because it's the truth.
It is.
And that's the hard truth that had to be pointed out to me in the beginning.
It is.
Because I was like, I wanted to lose it all. Like, why in 3 months did I not,
Right.
have my goal?
Right.
But and I really think too, the other thing too, my first year was I had a couple friends that challenged me. We kind of did the Biggest Loser thing
Yeah.
for the year, and we all went and had the AirPod fat scan done, and I was the Biggest Loser. So that was like really cool because I just wanted to, I wanted to make sure I was on top.
Yeah.
Because I have that drive.
I get it. I get it.
So anyway, all right, I think that's it for tonight.
That's it, kids.
All
Well,
right.
we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please put them in the comments below. We'll be sure to respond as soon as we see it. We hope to catch you guys next week, and we'll see you soon.
See ya.
Bye.